Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to Tigpods, and today is a really exciting episode because we have with us Nestor Caro all the way from Colombia, right bro?
Yes.
From Colombia on the show. So we're going to give you a little bit of, what we do on the show. So Tigpods is short for TIG podcast. TIG is the name of our company. It's called The Internet Generation. And we believe that's what we are. We're the generation that grew up alongside the internet. And we make content, and we also make a lot of content for creators and with creators. And we like doing a lot of podcasts with people who are either in the creative space or are creators themselves, or just create in general for life. When I say creator, I don't mean just a person who does a podcast, or a person who acts, or a person who does something in front of a video. Even a person who makes code is a creator. A person who stitches clothes is a creator. A person who puts together a team is a creator. So we look at life and we look at creation as the most noble form of living. We think that that's the highest form of like God's intention for us, or whatever way we want to call it. So that's a summation of what Tigpods is about. And introducing Nestor to the show. Nestor is a man who has a lot of experience in the space of the Metaverse, AR, VR, and especially XR right now. Correct me if I'm wrong at any point. I'm going
nailing
about
it.
Yeah, cool. So Nestor is also a part of a company called I forgot the name. ISG, and they are building experiential zones inside metaverses. And I just saw a few videos. I checked out the rowing video, and that was damn cool. I want to ask him if we have a haptic suit that also feels the same burn and stuff. But yeah, I've checked out a lot of their stuff, and they are genuinely pioneers in this field. And it's really mind-blowing. I felt so stupid going through that entire thing. I'm like, holy shit, what am I doing in life? This is the future, and I have no idea what's happening over here. But that's also the reason why we have Nestor on the show today, to kind of educate me and us and you guys on where the world is going, on what we can expect in the next few years in terms of the metaverse, in terms of XR and VR and everything else along that way. Alongside this, I would also like to add, Nestor is a tattoo artist. If you guys can check out that right side, it's a damn cool tattoo. It almost feels like one of those skins that you can buy in a shop, and he's wearing it, but no, that's his actual skin. Yeah. He's also a rock climber, from what I know. Is there anything else that I'm missing out, bro?
Maybe yes, but those are the main stuff,
That's the point of this part. There is no main stuff. It's all a part of you. So if you are also a music producer, we'd like to know.
Yeah, no. I do like to play percussions, but mostly like jamming, I don't consider myself a musician, but I do enjoy the creative part of it, right?
Okay. I think I've covered most of what you do, right?
Yeah, currently is definitely you're covering everything. The only thing I would add to it is my lifestyle. Like the way I encompass all of it is being digital nomad. Even when I'm in Colombia, I'm also traveling. I have a Starlink antenna, so I like to keep moving. I like to keep the world in my eyes. Even if I work with the metaverse, for me that's another window. But the real world is still the most important thing for me. And that's what I try to do with these talks, with these interventions, to try to educate the people and to show. Because the metaverse and the future that is coming is creepy on my eyes in many ways, but there is the proper way to handle it, the proper way to use it, the proper way to experience it, and to get profitability and still be connected to this reality, Because in this market and in this scene, you see a lot of people already disconnecting way more from reality. I remember in my previous job, I once came to the office and after the weekend, and they were saying oh yeah, we were in this amazing river, and the sunset was beautiful. And I'm like, oh yeah, which river, guys? No, in the metaverse. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a coffee.
Glad I wasn't around for that meeting, but yeah, sure, guys. No, I understand, bro. I totally get it that I'm a hopeful nomad too. I really wish I could do what you're doing. I really wish I could just call myself a digital nomad. I could just take my laptop and keep fucking off traveling, climbing a mountain, or jumping into a river. Unfortunately, I haven't figured that out yet. Hopefully in the future. But I do believe, like you said, that connecting to nature and connecting to the current reality, and it's so weird that I call it current reality by itself, is so important, right? Because that is therapy. That is just bliss by itself. And again, that's just me talking, but unless people actually go and experience it, there's no point in even both of us sitting and saying, oh yeah, that's awesome. You got to like let people go and actually find out how it is. Because I don't know if you've seen this, there was this scientist that made a rendition of what gamers would probably look like in 10 to 15 years. And they collected a lot of data and they made a 3D model of someone who would probably look like a gamer if they just game for 10 to 15 years in another 20 years. And it looks absolutely hideous.
Yeah.
Like there's this guy who's like completely hunched. He literally has a hole on his head for the headphones. It has like a dent, and you have like a neck separation. And that looks very scary. Of course, there is a lot of flack from the other side. People are like, no, that's too extreme. There's no way that's going to happen. But I do feel that is a possibility if people are not going to disconnect and disconnect into the actual world.
Yeah.
It is a little scary.
Definitely. And I actually would say I don't think it will look like that, especially not the dent on the headphones, because I think mostly gamers of the future will be just implanted or connected directly,
Wow.
So, yeah, I also can foresee like a strong division of the human race in terms of biological development, because like the metaverse in a more mature state, which is like the actual evolution of the internet, it will encompass every service. It will interconnect every potential activity.
Can I just ask you a very basic question, bro?
Sure.
I mean, we keep assuming that everybody knows what the metaverse is.
Okay.
But I think in a very simple explanation, like if you had to explain to a 5-year-old what is metaverse, how would you do it?
Well, it will be like an underlying layer of reality interconnecting every technology,
Okay.
So it's like a more complex internet, or it's an internet you can be inside,
Okay. That's a more 5-year version. Yeah, inside the internet that
inside
you can
the
feel.
internet. Yeah, that's the easiest way to put it.
Okay, nice. Sorry to cut you off. You were saying.
Yeah, what was I?
So you were talking about the metaverse and how gaming is going to be inside the metaverse, how it's going to be injected in.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
that
the injection part, like it's likely, but I would not go and assume it's going to happen, because like many technologies are just going to come in and out, blink in and out. One thing for sure, how the metaverse is going to look like is extended reality, because right now virtual reality presents us with the choice, you're either in the reality or you're either in the virtual space. So like by its very nature of the choice, it's going to be a transitory technology, and we are already seeing like Apple is about to release their AR headset. This is going to turn the industry upside down.
Okay.
Because like it's not only that they are releasing some fancy glasses. Like I was talking the other day with a friend, like figuring why they are putting these LiDAR sensors on every iPhone since I don't know what model. Actually every phone is going to feed like the computer vision model that is going to sustain this extended reality metaverse. So Apple was preparing for it for a while, and now we're going to see how it comes.
How deep do you think this is going to be in terms of Apple's LiDAR glasses coming out?
I think like because it's gonna be a quite expensive product, it will be just like at the beginning it will be like the early access will be only on the few that can afford it. But definitely once they release this stuff, every competitor will try to make their Android version of it. So it's just gonna set the standard basically.
Okay.
And hopefully they are gonna get into like at least for once into some consensus with the rest of the market, so we don't have like the Apple metaverse and the rest. Hopefully they figure that one out. But yeah, like metaverse is gonna be everywhere, popping out in every building, like in every car. Augmented reality will just be there. So that's the thing. For some people, it feels like it's something super distant that is gonna come in I don't know how many years. But the thing is, like, you can already access the same ecosystem with your phone. It's just less comfortable that wearing glasses in a short future form. But the thing is, like, people will already be able to interact with it, and it will become normal, just as is the internet around us. It took a while to catch on, but it stayed forever.
How long do you think we're looking at this reality? Like, how many years ahead are we from all of this? Like, from a Jarvis version of, calling...
A Jarvis version? You mean of artificial intelligence?
Like how Iron Man's like, Jarvis, call my friend, and you have this thing that pops up. That's the kind of future that you're talking about too, right? With wearable tech and...
Bro, this year, easy.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
I mean, the hologram part, maybe not, but if you wear the glasses, you will see like
will
the
see
AR,
the hologram.
you know what I mean?
Wow.
But the AI assistant level is already there, you know, like this Microsoft Copilot 365 stuff. It's already like, you can like write into super natural language way and it will like do whatever you want.
And this is out for public use already?
No, they are in close testing, but it's like
Okay.
super strong, you know, like it will become part of the Office suite this year, I guess.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that is not that far away, bro. So if you think about it and you realize that is not far away, like what is coming, you know, and how
Exactly.
fast it's coming.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it recently because you know how we keep, like you said, we keep thinking this is way distant in the future. It doesn't really seem like that because most of your friends, we're having these things called smartwatches, and wearable tech has already, I think, conditioned us psychologically to have on us a piece of technology always, like permanently. A phone is still voluntary. I can keep it away and stay disconnected, but a watch is not the same way. So that what that implies is when I went surfing with my friend, right? So things like surfing or climbing is one of the times when you can be away from tech. Like, no way. None of your fuckers can get to me. You're done. But now he has his watch and we are inside the water and he gets a call. He was blown away, like, whoa, bro, I get a call here. But for me, it's also scary. Like,
Yeah.
that means that this is never leaving your body. This is always a part of you. And the next step is, like you said, people are just going to have a chip inside of you and you're always connected. Your thoughts are available for sale. Whatever you think is up for grabs for an advertiser to take and project to you. It's up for anybody too, right? In that space.
Yeah, but I would say like the nervous implants, like the one that already tap directly either to your brain or to your eyes or any other nerve. I think those are the most invasive and the most far away into the implant upcoming age. I mean, we already see a lot of people implanting like their wallets or like access points, you know.
Yeah, I've seen a guy got a Tesla key on his hand as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like people can basically implant a lot of things already, and people are already doing it, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, that's not even the future. That's now. It's about how it's becoming massified. You know, I would say like the implanting part. It will not come that fast as the metaverse itself, you know, especially because it will require already like the miniaturization of technologies. Although AI is going to boost that like exponentially, but as long as they can keep selling us the fancy nice glasses, they will be doing it, you know. Not anytime soon they're going to replace it for the cheaper implant version. For sure, they have already prepared probably the next generations of headsets.
Capitalism has to pop up and show its face.
Exactly. But now that you brought the surfing and the climbing into the scene, I like that, you know, because now in this last journey through India, I was able to share with these people I mentioned off record a while ago, like the Crashpad Mangar, and how these people live in the community, a bit secluded from the internet, because now it's becoming more and more unreliable, right? Because now AI is able to deepfake videos, you know, that can destroy a person's reputation in a day, you know. So definitely, I think like there will be like these two kinds of poles, right, in society. Those who are like full into metaverse, not leaving the home, ordering the food, which are getting closer to the vision you just gave, right?
Ready Player One.
Exactly. And that projection that you said about the gamers, it's not that far from reality on that pole of the society. The other pole would be already this kind of techno-anarchists with their own intranets, or people like away from these mainstream technologies that are growing their food, living in nature, you know, getting the best out of life. And in between, you'll have the whole spectrum of people like
Figure out, am I here, am I there?
Exactly. Because like when I get to this community at the beginning, like their leader was like, you know, at the beginning we were on the same page, because I was speaking kind of not against the metaverse, but like just showing up the criticism about it, you know. And he's already this kind of techno-anarchist. So he's like, oh yeah, man, this future is shit, you know. Sorry, can I say that?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, but then I started to also like telling him how it's about the balance, you know, because right now there is like a few 20-year-olds there, you know, also figuring out what to do with their lives, you know. They're super happy being hippies and being able to climb like all the time because it's a passion, right? But tomorrow, what job are they going to get in this changing society, you know? Like AI is also going to bring a massive job loss, you know, and this is going to rewrite both like the industries, like the kind of jobs you can have, and even education, you know, because why on earth is a person going to go for a 5 years degree be when AI will be able to summarize the entire pensum with the word, you know. So I think this will bring like rapid and drastic changes into society that will kind of force the people into choosing their pole, basically, you know.
It's exciting times, but I'm never one to sit and fret about it. I'm like, you know what, screw it. If it happens, it happens. I'll deal with the bridge when it gets there.
Exactly.
It's okay, man. I mean, I remember the best example is there's this one meme, and it's a picture of math professors protesting outside of university, saying calculators have to be banned. Our jobs are at stake. And here we are today, where calculators are an intrinsic part of our life, right? And mathematicians are still around, of course. You still need a more advanced version of mathematics to use calculators and augment their practices. So the same thing is going to happen here. You're going to have the most basic, the most banal tasks eliminated, and you will have the people doing those tasks to probably upgrade, evolve themselves. And
I would say like only like smart and curious people will do that, like actually be augmented by the technology. The vast majority will be enslaved by it, you know, because like once I think about where is the money coming for the future workers, let's say, if, as you said, the most banal tasks are just taken away by AI, you know, like we already see like the beginning of this, which is like the play to earn, learn to earn models of all of these meta spaces companies, you know, that kind of reward you for using their product, for being in there, you know, because the metaverse experience is all about participation, you know. In internet we were just interacting, now it's participating, like people are shaping the experiences while being there, so they're interested into staying there, and that's why these kind of models, like economic models, happen. So for in the foreseeable future, like people will be just jumping from metaspace to metaspace, trying to get some tokens to at the end of the day redeem that for food, for the rent, for transportation, you know.
All right.
So yeah, like a lot of the normal work, as you said, a lot of the new jobs will come, but what if these new jobs are just this kind of at the end, like artificial activities that at the very end of the day had no meaning and no value?
You know? Just like Ready Player One, you just got to go play, get a bunch of coins, exchange that for more coins, exchange that for more coins, and then
I like that you mentioned the movie, because I think it's one of the most accurate visions of the short term
I think have been made of all time.
I think it's super accurate in the way it understands the future society, how like people will just don't care where they live as long as in their meta space they're like,
exactly,
you know.
And it's also beautiful, that movie, because it doesn't abandon hope. It is still positive at the end of it. It still shows you the humane side, it still shows you hope. And as opposed to Black Mirror, Black Mirror is the same thing. It talks to you about a futuristic world, but it's always fucked up. Except San Junipero, which is beautiful. Except that one episode. Everything else is just like, yo, you guys are screwed. I'm like, yo, come on. There should be a silver lining around there somewhere. I mean, everyone thought that Face Smash was going to be the death knell of people. Social networks going to kill people. We're all just going to, like, you know, be hating each other. But hey, here we are today. Of course, it has made things a lot more worse, but we still are a lot more chill. We're still learning to live with it, right? We're still learning to see how it augments our life rather than destroy it.
Exactly. Learning is the important part.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the important part, to understand really what you're doing with this technology, what is it doing to your life, how you are interacting with it. Like parents, how are they presenting this to the children if they don't even understand it, you know? So it's all about education. And, and that's the role of us being here, of the place we met, you know? I really try to expose the dangers of it, because it's the only way to be correctly prepared, to not be absorbed and enslaved by it, but rather to use it to level up your game, you know. Whatever industry you are, AI will for sure boost you up, you know. So I think it's an important tool. It's a tool. That's the point.
Exactly.
It's a tool. It's not good or bad or evil or whatever. It's just a tool. It's up to how people use it and what they use it for that becomes good or bad.
Exactly, man. I think I have a whole different theory. Do you believe in do you believe in religion, by the way? Do you have a religion, or do you follow anything?
I study every religion.
Okay, amazing. Cool. So do you know about Hinduism's the avatars of Vishnu? And you know how the 10th avatar is supposed to come, the Kalki avatar?
This no.
Okay, so there's apparently we have 9 avatars so far. The last one being the Buddha. So the Buddha is the 9th avatar, and the one before that was Krishna. The one before that was Rama. You know these names, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Buddha was the last one, and the next one apparently has not appeared. So I have a theory. And my theory is it has appeared, and it is nothing else than the internet. I believe the internet is God. it's as neutral as it gets. It can be used in the most beautiful, amazing way. It can be used in the most terrible way as well. And I believe that's literally God as well. God is the power that is given to us, and we choose how we want to use it. Because that center point of balance is everything, according to me. That's the point of life. And finally, I believe, what's the point of all of this? What's the point of life? Is hitting that equilibrium, is coming back to the center after you've learned around about everything. So yeah, I mean, that's my theory of the internet. What is yours about of life, rather?
It's very interesting, you know, because now I also believe in incarnations and that we keep coming back, you know, to learn and to experience everything.
It's what makes the most sense.
Exactly. So that's the point of really being out there, you know, like, because at the very end, this vision of God being the internet and now the metaverse being the evolution of that, it's a strong, interesting analogy, but I can also see how the metaverse will be like the corruption of it in many points.
Oh, yeah.
Because like people will be getting lost into it while forgetting like the
true purpose,
or no, like the real world experience, you know. So I would say, I would argue that it's like it is God, but then you in the Hinduism you have like the unity. So I would say like the internet is one of the gods that comes under that unity. You know, like one of the derivations of it, because at the very end the unity encompasses all reality included. You know, that's already, I think, like anthropomorphing this whole system of beliefs, like one. One level
makes sense.
In my opinion.
Shit, that just blows my mind a whole different way. Like if we thought we were conquering the spiritual realm in reality here, well then here is going to be a whole new world for us to conquer, for us to reach oneness at the end. Wow, okay, that's just...
Yeah, because at the end it opens a whole new set of human experience.
Yeah,
a whole new set of human interaction, and it's a place where you can literally do everything, you know. Everything that your physical or your dry body cannot go, your wet body will be able to visit or to experience. And because VR and extended reality...
I'm sorry, I need to stop you there. Dry body, wet body...
Oh, sorry. Like our wet body is this one, the one made of mostly water.
Okay.
And the dry body will be your digital representation inhabiting any...
my avatar.
Space. Yeah. Well, this is an important concept, you know, because like what we see now in cognitive psychology is that our cognition has split the two bodies, you know, and this happens because like VR is such an immersive media that resembles reality in such a powerful way that the brain essentially believes it happens. Exactly. And the thing is, like, if we go back to the discussion that the main source of income of people is going to come from the dry body, from the metaverse, like biologically your brain starts prioritizing the survival of that construct, you know. So that's why it goes again to this gamer illustration you just painted. It definitely will go there for those who prioritize the dry body over the wet body in their own lifestyle, you know. Because at the end it's not something you tell your body like, hey, I want to be this strong on the side, no. It's something that happens because of your lifestyle. So if you don't have that balance in yourself, you don't visit the real world, your body will start like deteriorating and decaying.
Shit. Can I ask you another question though?
Sure.
What makes you think that this isn't a dry body by itself?
Well, it is, you know, because the thing is, it's wet because we are compounded by water. But I know your point. I know your point that it's a simulation, and it is because at the very end, the whole human existence, religion, whatever you want to put it, it's this goo floating inside your cranium with all these long strings. All apart from that is just mechanisms and sensors. But the true experience of the human body is it's fabricated there, you know. Everything you believe to see is just the light reflecting and getting absorbed by your eyes. It might be as far as reality as it can go, you know. Like there is this Indian author like Ramachandran, you know.
You don't know Ramachandra the sage?
He was a neuroscientist.
Oh, okay.
And he revolutionized our understanding of the brain not that long ago, actually. You know, before him, I think like most neuropsychiatry was playing and toying around with people's brains. You know, like this person was able to understand very well our brain through damaged brains, you know. So with the people that normal psychiatry will call them demented or schizophrenic or whatever, he was able to realize that no, it's just a specific damage in one path of the brain that results into having hardcore hallucinations. Or there was one case that really shocked me a lot, you know. It was this Venezuelan rich family whose kid had a motorbike accident, and on the phone, the kid was able to recognize their parents and tell them they love them. But once they meet in person, the kid was completely sure, absolutely sure they were imposters. They were hired by his parents to replace them because they didn't have time for him. Like, it was actually happening because he had a very specific damage in the face recognition part of his brain, so he could not associate emotions to the faces of his parents.
Okay.
And the only way his brain could make sense of it was creating this fiction that they were imposters. As absurd and it might sound like weird and as hell, for him it was a reality because his damaged brain was creating this simulation, you know. So at the very end of the day, we live in the simulation. Our brain is fabricated through our senses, you know.
So if you believe this is a simulation, what is reality?
I think the whole of it, you know, like reality is also living that simulation. At the very end, you're experiencing it, you're learning from it. You know, even if you are like in some tank connected to some machines, like in Matrix, or you're in some energetic flying whatever, it's still reality. What you make of it, you know. Like what you're experiencing on daily life. And also it will be the reality for the people just living mostly in the metaverse. It's their reality, you know? It's what they are doing on the daily basis, how they're getting their food. So yeah, I think at the best we can do is to get the most of every reality as we can get, you know, from the physical experience, from the meta experience, and also from the spiritual experience.
So that's also kind of where I'm coming from. So you see, you know how you mentioned it's all about getting the most of everything, right? I believe that's an endless cycle. I don't think we can ever do that.
For sure.
Which is why in Hinduism and a lot of other cultures as well, they preach detachment, to not have any desires, to let go. And that kind of makes sense for me because I believe in karma as well. I believe that whatever you want, whatever you desire for, you will get for sure. It's like a slot machine. Depending on the size of your desire, it'll take that long and that much of effort for it to pop out. Like if you just want water, it's a very simple slot. You pop it, zoop, you get water immediately. If I want a fucking ocean, then I will get it, but it will take a while and a lot more effort, and then I'll probably get it. So the thing is, I have to go through all those lifetimes for me to get it though. I have to go through all those experiences for me to get that. So maybe the entire path to realizing oneness or like getting out of this is to not want any of it. I'm like, screw the slot machine. I don't need anything, and I should probably be good, right? I don't have to keep getting reborn.
I think in that sense, I totally disagree with every religion because they also preach the celibacy. Celibacy, detachment, you know.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's not a good thing because, you know, like all of the things that are in the world are there to be experienced. And the fact that you can get there, it means that in this incarnation, you could experience it. So it's not meant to necessarily, but it's your choice, you know. So at the end is what I just mentioned, you know, it's up to you how much you get out of it, you know. Detachment for me is like just focusing on getting a higher level, you know, but then you forget about all the things that you could have experienced in this incarnation because you were just focused on the target. That's the teaching of the archetype of the hermit, or the you know, that the real value is not the end of the journey, but
it's
the path.
The journey.
Yeah, exactly. So in that sense, I really disagree with every religion that preaches this kind of stuff, like detachment and celibacy. I think, I mean, then it's not weird why you have like people messed in the head, having like pedophile problems. You know, if you restrain them for the very basic nature, like what can you expect, man? Like you have a broken human.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the Buddha himself put it the best way. He said, I starved myself for an entire few months, like I think years or whatever, and then I've attained enlightenment, and now I'm telling you guys, it's not worth it. Just don't do any of that shit. Just live your normal lives, enjoy your desires, go through whatever you have to get. You will eventually get there when you have to get there. There is no hastening this process. There is no getting there sooner and thinking that's the only reality. It's pointless. You'd rather smell the flowers along the wayside, eat the best food, and enjoy life as you get there.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It's nice. It's also really interesting to note when you look at the various incarnations, right, in Hinduism too. It goes in that order. You first have Ram, who was very controlled. He was very restrictive. He's like, this is the way. He's very orderly. You have to do the right thing. And then he went, and then came Krishna, who was all about experiencing. It's all about, let's do everything. It's all about love. Have how many lovers you want. Do every single thing. There's no such thing as a wrong thing. And then he goes, and then you have Buddha, who comes and he's like, don't have anything. No desires is the path. But by the end of his is when he realized that, okay, you know what? Balance is key. Everything before me was everyone going in one extreme. But hey, guys, we think that balance is all that makes sense. And that honestly blew my mind, because I've been searching for one philosophy, bro. Like my entire life, I think for the past 8 years, all I wanted in life was to find that one rule that makes sense. Like, give me that one dogma, that one philosophy. If I just follow, I'm good. And nothing made sense at all. Anything that I thought like, okay, this seems to make sense, I was going closer towards it, and then it'll show me why it's fucked up. I'm like, oh, okay, this doesn't make sense. And then there'll be another dogma. I'll be like, okay, yeah, this seems to make sense. Let's go here. And then, nah, this doesn't make sense.
That's your path, searching for the path, you know. It goes back to what we were just speaking about. I think the moment you find some dogma, you might live for it, a few years, and then,
and then be like, fuck, what was I doing?
Yeah, you'll have your Buddha moment, like, maybe not.
Yeah, I swear to God. That's where I found balance makes the most sense. I'm still waiting to be blown away by that, to find out how balance by itself is the wrong dogma. But it makes sense for me so far. I'm like, no matter what, let's just balance. Like, not too much of this, not too much of that. Let's just stay in the center. And that's hard by itself. It's super hard. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of where I am in life right now. So I want to move away from the entire metaverse, XR reality and the tech side of things. I want to talk to the human being of Nestor Caro.
Okay.
So talk to me about your life. Talk to me about your desires. What do you like doing? What really drives you? How was your trip up north? Whatever.
Well, like in general, my biggest project in life, because it's like now that you speak about incarnations, I believe this one to have been born in Colombia. For the purpose of changing it, because it's a deep unequal society with strong poverty. We are like overcoming violence, war for 30 years.
Yeah.
So I was always wondering, because even if I was surrounded by all that evil and mayhem and madness, I was kind of in a bubble, Even I was like frequenting like slums and stuff because I had friends there. I was always in like even dangerous places, but I was always fine. Never in the real danger, but always being able to see the misery, always being able to see the violence, So I was like always wondering, why do I have this opportunity? Then I realized it's because it's an opportunity to experience this. If I was born in Europe or someone else, I would not even know this stuff, So it became a bit of my like personal endeavor to start trying to fixing problems one at a time. Hunger is the first one I want to overtake. So that brings us back to both the first trip to India and the second one. Like in the first trip to India, I realized Colombia and India have essentially the same food, like the same. Yeah, exactly. So I was wondering how is such an overpopulated country like this, there is no hunger, and in mine where we have way less people, there is famine, there is children dying from hunger, being underdeveloped in the brain because of bad feeding habits, So yeah, I started trying to like import like Indian habit foods, and then I realized that the problem is not only about the recipes or whatever, but it's a deeper sociological problem, Like people rather go for the fast flours than really cook a proper meal, even having ingredients, So the problem is rooted deeper, and I realized if I want to do this kind of model, I first need to be able to grow my own food, So that's where I am right now. I want to start growing my own food because even if we have like a super fertile land, we are like completely invaded by Monsanto, which is a GMO corporation.
I'm unaware. If you could
genetically modifying organisms. Yeah, so they are really involved with US governments and by extension our government. So Colombia is basically the dumpster for US, so everything they don't want, everything is not sellable there, everything like goes into Colombia, mostly. And the food, now Monsanto's food is really almost in every part of Colombian
Who is Monsanto? Soil. Like, could you give us brands that we probably know?
Probably, I think, because the thing is they already been banned in many places in Europe because it has been proved that their genetically modified organisms are poisonous cancer.
Are they in India as well?
I would imagine so. They are very powerful. I'm not sure about the specificity. For sure, some of their products are reaching your country. For sure, at least one. Some of their vegetables, So they modify their plants so that you cannot, for example, if you buy their seeds, you will not be able to get a second crop out of it. You have to buy again. You have to buy their fertilizer. You have to buy the Roundup, which is a fucked up poison. So they modify their plants to survive the Roundup. So it kills everything else but the plant, you know. So it's kind of a vicious circle that has been destroying the soil slowly, you know.
And now it's at a point of...
Yeah, now it's at a point where like farmers are living in misery and they could be growing food for themselves, but they are trapped in the money wheel, you know. So the whole point now is to really validating the thing on my own, you know, because now that I was in the Crashpad Mangar in this place Dosh, close to Delhi, I told you, like they are growing their own food, they are living in a cooperative scheme, because like many of these plants I'm mentioning to you, I've tried to do solo, and yeah, the amount of money or time you can put in is like unfortunately limited. And if someone told me like the idea of having this cooperative kind of community lifestyle, I would just say, oh, it's a romantic, nice idea. But being there and seeing how easily it's just to, once you are able to agree with some people, to do some stuff, you can just set in motion all of this stuff, you know. And it's like not complicated, you know. So my target now is going back to Colombia, like getting together a few climbers, because like
you're going to start a community
for sure.
Wow, that's exciting.
And close to Pajande, which is the rock climbing park we've been developing for the last 14 years.
Okay.
So the point is to take many of these climbers who are struggling to find their lifestyle, because climbing is expensive, you know, and Colombia's economy is like way worse than India for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, I want to do this, you know, because I know the right people, because of course you need the right people to start a community, you know. You can't just bring some random strangers and it will collapse for sure. So yeah, that's my point now, like to create this, start growing our food, start implementing technologies for sure, because that's the point, like technologies are there for a reason. I have no interest in doing it like artisanal way, or like just because people tend to go into the extremes also in this kind of like, lifestyles and whatever, you know, like I just wanted to work, you know, to prove it, because just the way these guys inspired me by the action, I think I can do it as the same in Colombia, you know, because it's not the same when someone tells you an idea, presents you some concept or whatever.
Rather shows it to you.
Yeah, right? When you're there, when you see like, fuck, it's so easy, you know, let's do it. You know? Because then like in Goa, I found some other similar kind of collective, but they are all DJs and stuff, like different vibe, but also the cooperative scheme, you know. I have never seen this before in Colombia, you know. For me, it's something super new and super interesting. And I think like, and unity is the power.
Okay. We spoke about XR, we spoke about the deepest tech possible, and then we spoke about the deepest non-tech possible. And, but I still am a little curious too, because you know, I was not even aware of the concept of XR until your session that day. I thought that, you know, AR and VR was what it was at. And then I realized that, okay, XR is probably a hybrid between these two, and you're not even going to be able to differentiate the two. So what is like the biggest hindrance for that? What do you think is what is stopping that from becoming a reality faster?
Stopping it?
Yeah.
Capitalism, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing. They're just gonna grain this thing enough
slowly,
to be able to sell us all the things,
the products they've made.
Yeah. That's the only thing, because the tech is basically there, you know. It's about massifying.
I saw that in your thing though. But even you're the one who built the entire the experience, right, in the Metaverse.
I was working for.
You were part of the team. Sorry. So the most I saw was like I saw that roller coaster and I saw that raft experience. So is that the best that we can do though? Is that the best graphics? Okay.
No. Like the thing about graphics is that we quickly realized that once you're in VR, the brain is not very demanding on the things it's watching, you know, like to just go all in, to just believe the experience you are doing. And the thing about the Metaverse I tend to frequent is the Somnium space, is that in essence everyone can do the graphics they feel comfortable with doing, or that the technical skills allows them to, you know, like the engine allows like hyper realistic graphics.
What is the engine called?
Unity.
You can build the Metaverse on Unity?
It is built in Unity, most of them.
Oh wow. Okay, I thought the Somnium space had its own exclusive
engine. No. It's based on Unity. Although they have like some other services like the web parcels and so on that is using an entirely different engine.
Okay.
But the big majority of it is running on Unity, and they coded in the C# on the back end. And if you are a creator, you should code in Bolt.
Okay. I still got to code though. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, but it's visual scripting now.
Yeah, so I can do that on Unity, right?
Yeah.
Just drag and drop elements.
Exactly, like cute little boxes with the wires.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Sort of. I get it. Sort of. I know. But okay, so I get it. I mean, I understand that you're saying that the brain doesn't require much to be immersed in it, but let's take for example, I'm a non-believer. I'm like some dude who's outside of this, and all I see is screenshots and screen grabs from inside the metaverse, and it still seems child play. Like it still seems very cute. So is it? Let's keep out the fact that you don't need that much. But I'm just asking, is it possible though? I mean, that much.
You need the VR experience or AR. You need the immersion. Because you just wrote it correctly, like if you show a picture to anyone, it will not make sense.
Yeah.
And even if it has the hyper realistic graphics, it will just look like a PS5 game. It takes you to be inside of the place to realize that you can touch stuff, you can interact with stuff.
And is that possible? Do we have haptic feedback already?
Yeah, I mean it's expensive, but there is like the haptic globes, there is the haptic suit from Tesla suit. You can touch, you can feel all the touchings. I heard the anecdote from my previous boss. He was testing the suit, and in Tesla suit was only selling to military and to space missions and stuff. Like it was the first like civilian client, or a set of clients. And this guy was on the testing, of the suit, and they had like a set of stuff that they could do. He would shoot a weapon, and you feel the recoil, and he had a grenade, bro. And suddenly his globe stopped tracking, so the grenade fell on the floor next to him and exploded. And it shocked him because it works with electricity. But immediately the brain created the association of danger to that object. Even if he knew it was not the real grenade, because of the pain, the brain made it real immediately.
Because of the shock?
Yeah.
Was it before the shock or after
the shock? Of course.
After the shock. Okay.
So even if he was telling to himself, okay, it's just the digital nothing, but he already had the fear to even get close to the thing, like because the brain makes it real. And when you have the haptic suit, like it just becomes way more immersive, because like the eyes are like the biggest part in the upper cortex, like the biggest area. So once you flute the eyes with the immersion, you're half the way there. Now you put the ears, and then you put also the tactile feedback. Then it's impossible for the brain to just snap out of it. It will believe whatever you show it.
Yeah. So what are some of the current real world applications for the haptic suits? Like you mentioned military and
well, that's for one the most effective one, like with the
like virtual missions training.
Yeah, of course, training, because like you can get impacts from the bullet. You could feel where it impacted you and stuff like this. Like because it's the whole suit full of the electric feedback. And it also kind of records your body, so it takes the mapping of your body to a whole different level. I've seen the friends inside of Somnium using this suit, and they can just dance. You can see every last movement of the body projected into the avatar.
Wow. Does it work the other way around too? Like let's say there's a dance instructor inside, and there's like a code, and does it work in reverse? As in, will the suit move my body accordingly and make me dance?
Not the suit, but the gloves, yes.
The gloves will?
Yeah, because the suit, like the technology inside of it is like a lot of electric sources, like a lot of electrodes that kind of shock you depending on the place you are getting the stimuli. The gloves, on the other hand, are like some kind of exoskeleton that pulls your hand from closing enough, So because of the very nature of the motors, like it could like work the other way around and make you play piano or whatever,
Whoa.
But
so I could learn to play the piano. I mean, I could play the piano without learning to play it.
Yes, why not? Wow. I mean, that's one of the things I think Somnium is going to do right. Like they're about to release their headset, and it's like an open hardware, open source headset, so people will be able to mod the hell out of it. I think that's a very interesting thing that is coming. Honestly, I can't wait for it.
But open source on this layer would just be mind blowing.
And even hardware open source. So just imagine, like the headset could power up a robot or some mecha suit. Who knows what the people is going to come up with,
Wow. Okay, that's pretty exciting and scary at the same time. Cool. So I'm also going to ask you, since you mentioned, the real world applications of the civilian applications, we obviously are curious in how it's going to affect the creator space. Let's not go all the way to a robot or like military. I'm a normal a dude who just makes videos. I make content for fun, and I'm building a following online, and I'm a gamer. So how much of the metaverse do you think I can use right now, currently? Like what can I do there?
Use or monetize? Because you're mentioning being a creator.
Okay, monetize. That works better actually.
I mean, like monetize, you can basically monetize everything you're doing. You know, there for sure will be some audience for it or some buyers. Because now with the NFT scheme, you can like really just digitize whatever you're doing into that form, and someone can pay with cryptos. You know.
Okay, yeah, yeah. The NFT market is one place I can do that. But if I want to reach out the Web 2 audience using Web 3, not much for it yet.
Well, I think like still there will be like the marketplaces, you know, where you can still access like all of these NFTs, like you're doing with OpenSea, basically, you know, you're still like accessing NFTs through web pages, you know, essentially like it will become part of the internal Metaverse marketplace where you will be able just to grab something virtual and add it to your wallet. But at the same time, there will be the relationship to the old-time internet we're living right now.
Yeah, has that happened though? Have people already started conducting, let's say, interviews like this very thing? Has that happened where people are doing this in the metaverse?
For sure.
Where they're talking to each other on Mars and they're friggin' like, you know, shooting stuff. They've already done it?
Actually, the fun anecdote, you know, because when I got the job offering for Suzume space, I was living nomadic in some canyon, you know, like just tattooing and climbing. I was not programming, you know, because in my previous job, I was kind of scammed and I was super disappointed with the industry. So I just went full nomad, full tattoo.
Fuck this.
And like 9 months, I was not coding, not doing nothing. And then I get this call from Arthur. He's like, hey, let's have an interview. And like, okay, let's arrange the call. Dude, when I have the phone and he picks up, he is on his avatar from within the metaverse interviewing me for the job. And I'm like, what the hell is this? This is just crazy.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool.
For sure, it's happening, you know, and there is like the conferences you can give from the web body. Like I've done already this kind of mixed reality experiences, and this is one of the things ISG does actually. This mixed reality experiences where you have like the real artist in the real venue with the real people, and at the same time you're synchronized with the virtual audience who is like kind of being able to interact.
Who can like tune in from any part of the world.
Exactly, and the thing is like the artist will be able to watch and interact with both audiences in real time. You know
how? If they're wearing the headset, you can't see.
We tried that with some events in Somnium, but because of the headset, then the person was not able to interact correctly with the real world.
Yeah.
So at some point, you can just do a lot of things. You can do video mapping. You can have screens to show the other people. So there is a lot of alternatives. It really depends on the kind of event or venue you want to create. You know.
All right.
But this happened. This is not something future or something. It's already one of the real use cases. Like the extended reality goes like this way. You know, like somehow creating the bridge between the two scenarios.
Wow. Okay. Sweet. Are you a fan of One Piece? Do you watch anime?
This is the guy with the hat. No.
Yeah.
I
Luffy,
know it is
One Piece. So there was a movie that came out recently, and a very similar concept. It's all these audiences are stuck in a concert, and this girl, she has a power where if she sings, people are transported and they are into a reality where she controls.
Oh, there is a movie, no?
Yeah, it's a movie. Yeah. And in reality, they're all just on an island and they're passed out. And they'll just die and they'll exist forever in that reality. And that's the entire mission where they come and they stop it from happening.
That's
but
crazy.
Fuck, this looks like it can already happen right now.
But you know, I would like to also like leave one thought in the table, because now that you spoke about creators and how you made a distinction that the creator is anyone who can like manufacture something or basically create something, you know? Like in this era of the AIs being able to produce whatever content, being the whole video, the whole picture, the whole song, the whole book, you know, when this happens, like most people think that the creativity is becoming meaningless, but I would argue that this is actually going to raise the value of handcrafted stuff, you know, human-made stuff.
Exactly.
You know, so the fact that you can have an oil painting in your room, that's going to be like super more valuable even now. Yeah. You know, because the whole power of AI removing the legitimacy.
Oh, okay.
Of the value of digital art, you know, because this also introduced a lot of problems into, for example, how to use a video or a picture as evidence in some trial at court, you know, like if everything can be easily produced by a machine, you know, so this brings value to the real world stuff, you know. It could be either the analog photography or the tattooing itself is one of the forms of art I think is going to last the longest from the AI wave, because for you to be able to do a tattoo artificially, you need basically a surgeon level robot to be able to do something like that. It's just cheaper to do it by a human. so yeah, I think like that's inspiring for me, because it's returning the value and the power to the artists and the creators from the real world,
Yeah, for sure. I think it's an obvious thing, because I saw this article recently where I forgot the name of the singer, but he's the one who sang the song for you seen Peaky Blinders, the title song? Yeah, he's the one who made that song. Nicky Grohl, I don't know, I forgot his name. But they sent him a poem or like a song written by an AI chatbot in his style, and he reviewed it. And he's like, this is absolute shit. Because that's all an AI can do. It is only logic. It is, no matter how much we feed it, how much ever you give it, it is only the left side of the brain. It is only ones and zeros, mapping infinitely, yeah, no doubt. But it's the right side that creates that magic, that spurts that one piece of beauty out of nowhere that nobody could have probably thought of. And it can only occur in that one person's brain because of his previous experiences that came to him. I don't know, it just seems like there are certain aspects that AI probably can't completely, originally own. So
I would say it will be able to mimic them, though. I think also I agree that it will never be able to replicate the ultimate human essence, but it will be able to mimic it quite good for
99%, 99.9999%.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, if you think about like average humans, like the consciousness they developing during the whole incarnation, it doesn't get to the place that the AI will be able to mimic.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway. I totally realized I hadn't even gotten started on talking about your entire tattooing side, your rock climbing side, but it's fine. I guess that's hopefully maybe for another time, if that's written in the cards. Let's see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always open to share and talk. I love it, even from the wet body or the dry body,
Yeah.
We can still meet up, huh?
For sure. I think that's going to happen for sure in the future. We'll meet up in the dry space, and we'll do something further. That's a pretty cool tattoo, by the way.
Thank you, bro.
Is there a meaning behind it?
Yeah, of course. All of my tattoos.
I am seeing a heavy.
He's probably the best tattoo artist in Colombia.
Wow.
And he makes what he calls vision art, which is heavily influenced by DMT and this kind of experience. So for sure, yeah, it's there, right?
Awesome. Were you on a trip when you got this?
No. Can you imagine the pain? Like, what the hell? I mean, we discussed the meaning, we discussed the symbolisms, and then he came up with this amazing stuff.
Wow. That's mind-blowing, man. That's
cool.
Cool.
I will show you his Instagram. He's like, no, this is nothing. I will show you.
How old is this tattoo?
It's like 2 to 3 years old.
2 to 3 years?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's some pretty damn good quality ink, man. I swear to God.
It's not the ink, it's the technique,
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, he teach me the tricks. Like, it's about leaving this part of the skin exposed always, You see in many tattoos, they just
they splash it completely.
Yeah, they cover it with colors, being whatever the color, they just fill it entirely. But he teach me you should always leave the lightest tone, the skin of the person, because
so
in that way,
breathes?
yes, because in that way your skin goes down and goes back, so it always keeps the vibrancy. And even this is super faded, bro. I will show you how it looked when it was new. It was like radioactive, man. Like,
whoa.
Now it still keeps the vibrancy because of my skin showing up from there.
Oh yeah. That you got that going for you. You're white, so it's gonna show up a lot more better.
That's a new for me.
Yeah. Cool. We unfortunately reached the end of this podcast, but trust us, guys, I am not gonna let Caro go. We're gonna have a lot more podcasts. Even if he's sitting in Colombia or like some cave in some part of the world, we're gonna have a dry space podcast soon. But yeah, this has been a friggin' mind-blowing experience, literally mind-opening experience, I could say, because I learned so much about realities that I thought were not realities, that I just that I pushed aside saying, oh yeah, virtual realities, fuck it. But turns out it's way more closer than I thought. And I honestly, more than the tech side, I enjoyed our non-tech side of the podcast. I loved hearing your theories of where we were in the world and where we are and what is the meaning of life, probably, because I'm that guy. If you sit and talk to me, I'm on a stamp and sitting and talking to you about what that star means up in the sky, and I'd go on for hours on that.
So I'm here for that.
Yeah. So that was interesting too. And And I love how we wrapped it up in the end and how we can practically use these tools every day in our lives. So thank you so much for sharing, for coming over, for literally existing. And I definitely hope, and I'm praying, sending my energy to you for helping out your people at Colombia. I hope you do start this community.
Thank you.
And you do teach people the ways of sustenance and of just, I think community and collaborative living is the best way to go.
Exactly.
And prove that communism isn't just on paper, it can exist in practicality as well.
I think it should exist in practicality, not in politics. Politics have the tendency to mess things up.
Of course. But trust me, I've had arguments, I've had debates with people. I'm like, okay, if not politics, give me another way that works.
No, this is the thing, that community, just use it. And I mean, they can still use the money and connect with society and whatever, but the way they feed themselves and live the daily life, that can be a hybrid, It's. I think there shouldn't be a polarization. Always the balance, bro. The balance. We go back to that, no?
Yeah.
I hope to be here in November again. So thank you for having me. I'm really thankful to be able to share my experience, to be heard, And we'll definitely stay in touch. Whatever collaboration you foresee in the future, I'm in.
For sure, bro. For sure. Thank you. With that, I'm going to wrap up this podcast. Thank you, bro. And guys, if you guys had a good time, please let us know, and in the comments, in the DMs, wherever it is, if you guys have any questions that you think that we should probably be posing to Nestor for our next session, let us know. And anything and everywhere, we're all yours, and we really hope that you guys learned a lot more from this session than I had expected. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for being a lovely audience, and I will see you in the next episode, guys. Peace out. My name is Jaytesh Calpakkam, and you can follow me on Jayteshc. And
my name is Nestor Caro, full, and my tag, I wouldn't have to spell it because it's like weird. It's Holy Right, HOLYRITTTE.
It's Holy RETTE.
Yes,
that's the short.
That's the way. That's the way to say it. Okay. Yeah, you can find my tattooing portfolio there and in YouTube, other stuff, whatever.
Yeah, guys. So I hope you guys give us a follow, and we will see you guys around. Thank you.